Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this was filmed before Melbourne was in lockdown again, but I did this really pretty pink blown out glam look on Jess. I love doing Jess's makeup. We have so much fun together and I just love painting her face and I'm obsessed with how this look came out. I just think it's so stunning and it's really good if you don't want to do a cut crease type of look. So if you're interested to see how I created it, then just keep on watching. So first things first, I'm just going in with a cotton pad and some micellar water and just going over her skin just to make sure there's no dirt or oils or extra fake tan or anything. I always do this. It just helps make sure the base is really nicely prepped before everything goes on top. So now I'm just going in with my touch of silk canvas. You know, I use this on everyone. Jess doesn't even really have like any pores or anything at all, but I just feel like it really just smooths that area and helps foundation not get like oily when people normally get oily during the T-zone. Wait, does that even make sense? I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It's like 10:30 at night, way past my bedtime. Anyway, so next primer, we're going with the Mercier Illuminating Primer. You guys also know this is my favorite primer. I love it. I use it on everyone, so I'm just putting this all over her face. It's just so nice and hydrating, and it's illuminating where it's like not too much. Like I don't want there to be like specks of like glitter or anything on her face. I just want it to be nice and glowy, so I'm just blending that all over with the same brush. So next for brows, I'm actually doing some soap brows. Jess already has really nice full brows, so I didn't want to add too much product. So instead I'm taking the Pears soap. You can just get it from like Woolies and Coles and stuff. And as you can see, so I've wet my spoolie, I've put it in the soap, I'm brushing her brows upwards to get it on her eyebrows, and then I'm flattening it down with my finger and then just going back and forth. And then as you can see, compared to the other eyebrow, I feel like it just helps define all the hairs, make them look nice and fluffy than it normally would. So I'm just doing this, pushing them up. And just, yeah, I didn't want them too extreme, but I just wanted the hairs to be like nice and fluffy without me having to add any product. And now I'm going to go and carve out the underneath of her brows with the P. Louise base in the shades 2 and 3 mixed together. And yeah, just creating that really nice definition underneath the brow. I love this step. And even though we haven't filled in the brows, like when you carve out the underneath, it gives you a really nice definition anyway, so I feel like it wasn't necessary, and I go back in and I just touch up the underneath of the brows at the end of the video anyway, just to add a little bit more definition. But I'm really happy with how it looked just with like the soap in them. I think it looked really nice. And then oh my god, I actually can't speak English. Now I'm taking the same P. Louise bases mixed together on a little this is just an eyeshadow blending brush, and I'm tapping this all over the lid. So it's really important to make sure you guys tap this product in. That way you'll get a nice flawless base. No streaks, no like thick amount of product. You don't want a really thick layer of this, otherwise it's never gonna like, it settles down a little bit. So yeah, I'm just really tapping it over, making sure it's nice and even and seamless and flawless. I do this with just a little eyeshadow blender brush or like a bigger concealer blender brush, depending on like how much eye space I have to work with. Also, if you guys are wondering about my thumbnail, who that guy is in the little think bubble, it is Jess's boyfriend, Noah Beck. If you don't know him, just Google him. I'm sure you'll know him. So yeah, that's just her boyfriend. Anyway, moving along. I am addicted to TikTok. Anyway, let's move on. So what are we doing next? Eyeshadow. So I'm taking my Be Perfect Carnival XL Pro palette. Yeah, the XL Pro, so the big one. I'm taking one of the peachy pinky shades. I'll leave like shade names and stuff in the description box, and just on a nice fluffy brush. And all of these shades I'm only focusing in the outer half of the eye because I'm saving that inner half for the pigment. So I'm just building them all up in this outer corner, slowly, making sure they're nice and blended. I wanted this look really blown out and just like nice and soft. So yeah, I'm just going in with this nice peachy pink and layering it up until I'm happy with how dark it is on both sides. So for this step, because I am doing it nice and blown out, I'm just taking a big fluffy Morphe brush, and then when I want to like define areas and add a more like intensity with my shadow, that's when I'll take a smaller brush. So for this shade, because I wanted it nice and blown out and diffused, you can see I'm just taking a nice big fluffy brush and making sure it's super blended, because this is like the first shade, it's going to peek through, so I want to make sure it's nice and soft everywhere. And then I go in with a slightly smaller brush and then a darker pink. So all I'm really doing with this is taking a slightly smaller brush and a slightly darker pink and then just layering them, making sure they're really nicely blended together. As you can see, this pink is stunning. It's like such a hot, vibrant pink and I love it. I love pink. I feel like pink is so flattering on anyone. So yeah, I'm just building this up with a slightly smaller brush in pretty much the exact same spots, but just slightly lower down, because I don't want to cover that first shade, but I do want to bring it quite higher up. And then yeah, I'm just blending it all over. And then after this, I go back in again with a slightly smaller brush and a slightly darker pink shade. So it's lots of layering, but it's worth it, layering all your shadows to get that nice like gradient effect. So as you can see here, I've just grabbed a really tiny brush because I just wanted to focus this in the very outer corner. So this is just a little Morphe brush. Most of the eye brushes, pretty much all of the eye brushes I use are Morphe, if you guys are interested. I do have a Morphe discount code. I'll leave it on the screen. But yeah, so I'm just blending that all over with the little eyeshadow brush. Using little brushes like these really help like control as well where you're putting the product. And here I'm just taking like a more darker purpley shade and focusing this in the very lower outer corner. So as I get darker, I want to keep it lower down and more in the outer corner area. So again, it creates that nice gradient look that we love. So again, I'm just like darkening up that outer corner slowly. I like to like layer up my eyeshadows quite a bit before I go in with like a black or something super dark, just to make sure they do blend easily together. So now I'm taking a flat brush and my Too Faced glitter glue. I use this literally in every look. It just makes every pigment look so amazing. So I'm putting it on my brush and on the back of my hand and then tapping it all over the lid, so pretty much just up to that halfway mark where we stopped with the eyeshadow. And whenever I use glitter glue in a blown out type of look, I take a little clean brush just like I am here and I soften all the edges, make sure they're super blended, because if you leave a bit of glitter glue that's in like a harsh line when you're trying to do a blown out look, as soon as you put the pigment on, it's not going to move, so it's going to be really hard to get that soft look. So that's a really good little tip. And the pigment I'm taking is Peaches Makeup Pixie. I use this all the time. It's just the most stunning iridescent pink shade. So as you can see, I just tapped it on with a brush, and I used a brush that wasn't super dense because I still wanted it to be like soft on the lid. Like I didn't want it to be super harsh and foiled. I want it to be like a little bit softer. So that's why the brush I'm using is still a flat brush, but it's not like synthetic or anything. Like it's got a little bit of fluff to it. And then I'm going with that clean brush and softening all the edges again. Just like I said, I want this look super nice and blown out. I want it seamless. I don't want to see any harsh lines. So now I'm taking a few of the pinks mixed on a brush and just blending on that line to make sure that there's no like harsh line between the pigment and the eyeshadows. And I just go back and forth, and because we've used glitter glue, the pigment's not going to move, like it'll stick where you've put it, so don't worry about blending on top of it. So now I'm going in because I wanted to darken the outer corners a little bit more, because I actually wanted to add some black. I wanted this look to be like really smoky in the outer corner, so I'm just going in with some more of like that darky oh my god, this is why I shouldn't do voiceovers when I'm really tired. But anyway, you guys can just laugh at me, it's fine. So yeah, I'm taking that dark purple, oh my god, and then I'm going in with a tiny little bit of black. Just I feel like this just made the look that little bit more extra, a little bit more smoky and dramatic. So I'm just smoking that just in the very lower outer lash line corner. So next I'm taking, this is the Balm Swing liner. It's actually so good. As you can see, look how black that is. And this is like one dip and it was enough for both her eyes, and it went on so easily, like just perfectly black, especially for like a liquid liner. I was like so impressed, and I think it cost me like $6 because it was half price at Priceline. So I definitely recommend that. And now I'm just going in and cleaning up the fallout. As you can see, there's quite a bit, but I mean that's why I do eyeshadow first, because I know there's going to be a lot of fallout, and I'm cleaning up the edges, but I didn't want that outer edge to be super sharp. So here, as you can see, I go in with like a little clean brush and just soften those edges so they're nice and blended. Okay, so now that we're done with the eyes for now, here's a cute little thumbs up. We're moving on to foundation and the base. So I took the Tarte face tape in 42G mixed with NARS Stromboli, I'm pretty sure. And I'm just putting this all over her face on a Peaches makeup brush. I use this foundation brush literally on everyone. I literally have like 5 of them, and they're my favorite brushes. So I'm just going on it. As you can see, I accidentally didn't realize I was like cutting off her forehead, so we just adjusted that. So I'm applying this all over. As you can see, this foundation is so nice, so full coverage. It's a really good match to her fake tan. I always love applying my foundations with a brush because you get optimal coverage, and then I go over it with a sponge to soak up any excess. With this like this tutorial, I didn't go over it with a sponge because I felt like it didn't need it. I felt like it already looked really nice and smooth on her skin. So I'm just going around the eyebrows, making sure I've gone into the hairline, and just making sure it's really nicely blended everywhere I want it to be. It looks like I'm being really rough, but I think that's just because it's sped up. I swear I'm not being rough. And here I just quickly popped on the lashes. So these are just, again, from AliExpress. I forgot to leave the link in my last video, but I'll leave the link in this video. In the last video, I linked them in the comments, but yeah, I'll link them in this video because they're like $2 and they're really, really good. So I've just popped them on. I wanted something that was like dramatic but not too full on because I still wanted to see the eyeshadow behind it. So now we're going in with concealer. I'm taking my Tarte Shape Tape in 27S, which is like, again, a nice golden sand undertone to go with like the foundation and everything. I just paint it on in all the areas I want. It does look like a lot, but once you blend it out, I promise it's not. To blend it out this time, instead of taking a Model Rock sponge, I'm just taking another Peaches makeup brush. This is the concealer type of, it's like a mini foundation brush pretty much, and I really love it for blending out concealer. I feel like it keeps a little bit more of that coverage compared to a sponge, which I wanted for this look. I want it to be nice and full glam. So yeah, I'm just going over and making sure it's nicely tapped in. As you can see, I'm not doing any swiping motions. All I'm doing is really pressing it into the skin. When you're working with cream products on the face, you want to make sure you're not swiping and disrupting all the products underneath it. You just want to do nice tapping motions, and then that way you don't get any streaks and you get a higher coverage as well. So yeah, always tap them in. Make sure you get right under the lashes into the inner corner, really pressing it in. And it's good to use a concealer that's got the same undertone as your foundation. So as you can see here, I just tapped over the edge with my foundation brush, and then just make sure they're really nicely blended together because you don't want any harsh lines of where your concealer, where your foundation is. So there I am doing the same thing on the other side. And then you guys know to set the under eyes, Mercier translucent powder. I will never stop using this powder. I can't believe, like, was it last year they discontinued it in Australia? Oh my god, I was so mad, but I'm so glad it is back, and I hope it never leaves again. So yeah, I'm using this under the eyes, pretty much everywhere I put concealer. So on the chin, I press it into the forehead, nose, smile lines, just anywhere where we put that concealer. And as you can see, it's so mattifying but blurring at the same time. I just feel like it's a really, really good powder. It is definitely worth the price. If you do want a cheaper alternative, the Fit Me loose powder is also really, really good. I do really like that one as well for just like a cheaper base powder. Here's a cute little bit of us vibing to the music. Just a cute little dance. Why not include that in there because I love it. And now we're going to set the rest of the face. So I'm taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Medium Golden because she was already so full coverage. I didn't really want to add any more coverage. I just wanted to set the foundation, and this powder is really nice. It just gives like a nice soft matte finish compared to the MAC Studio Fix powder, which gives a more like a full coverage matte base. So yeah, I'm just pressing that all over. So next it's time to bronze, my favorite part. So I'm taking my Hourglass Radiant Bronze Light. This is my favorite glowy bronzer. This and MAC Give Me Sun are like my two favorite bronzers. This one is just so nice if you want a really glowy bronzer. It's like a really beautiful warm shade, and yeah, it is expensive, but it does last ages. Like I just bought a new one, but the one before that lasted me like well over a year with me using it a lot. So it's definitely worth the price, and because it is a baked product, you can layer it up really nicely, and it's not going to be like muddy or super intense. With my base products, I prefer I can build them up and get the pigment I want rather than put it on and it be like super crazy dark and intense, because then I feel like it's easier for them to go muddy if they're that way. So I'm just blending that all the way around the perimeters of her face. And now to add some more definition, you guys know I love to take my Fenty Island Ting bronzer. This bronzer is really good as a bronzer on darker skin tones, and it's really good as a like, I just use it as a contour shade even though it's not a contour. I just feel like it adds more definition to the face. So I'm putting that in the cheekbones and around the perimeter of the face, under the lip, just to add a nice bit of shadow under there. I feel like because this is a similar shade to the bronzer, it pairs really nicely. Like, it doesn't look muddy or cool toned or anything, which is what I like. So next is blush time. I love blush. So I'm taking my NARS Orgasm blush. Just I wanted a nice pinky blush. This is a really nice pink blush. It is a bit overrated. Like, I don't get why. It's not really that pigmented, as you can see. Like, I've only just bought it because everyone kept talking about how good it was. But I mean, it is pretty, but it's not super pigmented. You sort of have to build it up quite a bit, and I feel like it does fade really, really fast. Like, I feel like in this video I kept having to go back and add blush a lot, which is fine, but just keep that in mind. So now I'm going with highlight. I'm highlighting the highest points of her face. You can see she's already got that really nice glowy base from the glowy bronzer and the glowy blush. It's super flattering on her. So I put on the cheeks and above the brows. I'm using the MAC Hyper Real Glow palette. You guys know I love this. I feel like it's just such a nice like bright highlight without it making like texture look 100 times worse than it normally would. And now I'm highlighting the tip of her nose and Cupid's bow as well. I love highlighting the Cupid's bow. I feel like it looks so cute, and I do a little bit in between the brows too. And here I'm just baking underneath the cheekbones just with that same low Mercier translucent powder, just to make sure I haven't gone too low down with the cheek products and to keep everything looking nice and crisp. So here I'm just taking a tiny little bit of I think this is my Benefit, is it? Yeah, my Benefit brow powder, in the shade, I think it's like the Brow Zings palette in light medium, and I'm just filling in the very underneath. As you can see, it just helped add that little bit of definition, which I just thought was needed. And now I'm going in with my Benefit clear brow setter and just brushing the hairs through, making them nice and defined. And then next I'm going to go ahead and I was trying to think what I was doing next. Highlight her inner corners. So I'm just taking the same highlight. I'm pretty sure I'm putting that in the inner corner. And now I'm lining her lash line with the Maybelline, they changed the name, Maybelline Lasting Drama Liner. So it's same as the Eye Studio, but they just changed the name. Don't know why, but it's a really nice black liner. I love putting this in the waterline. And now I've gone ahead and just brushed off that bake. And then we can move on to doing the shadow underneath the eyes. So I'm going in with setting spray first. I took I think it was like the Revolution glass setting spray. One of the Revolution, yeah, it's like a glass luminous setting spray. I thought it was nice. It does have a bit of a weird smell, but I mean, it's not really a big deal. So yeah, now I'm taking the same pinks that we put on the top and just running them underneath. I don't really do this like in any particular order. I just put on like the middle shades, which the transition shade, no, which are like the crease shades we used on the top. And then I blend them out with a fluffier brush with the lighter transition shade we used, because I want it to be nice and diffused and blended under there. And then I go in with a really tiny brush and add some black just to the very outer third so it matches the top. And then again, it adds that little bit more smokiness to the look. And I always make sure I go back and forth and really blend it so it's nice and seamless. Then I'm just taking any Maybelline mascara on a spoolie and coating her top and bottom lashes, making sure they're nice and black. And then next we're going in with lips. So for the lips, I'm taking I think this is MAC Stripdown lip liner. I feel like I use this on everyone. I can't not use it. And then my Peaches Bambi gloss. Again, another favorite of mine. I feel like this combo just goes with any look, which is why I love it. So now you guys know, of course, we're going to highlight the chest. So I'm taking the Mecca Glow Drops in, I'm pretty sure the shade is like Opal. As you can see, it's like a really pretty iridescent shade and it had really nice pinky reflex in it, so I thought it went perfect with the eye look. So I'm putting this all over her chest, as you can see. I love doing this step. I feel like it just like makes the look just like, it takes it to that next level. And then here we have the completed look. I really love this look. I hope you guys love this tutorial as much as I did. Sorry, it was a little bit of a long one. I hope you're all staying safe and well during this COVID situation, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.